Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Wednesday, October 1st. We'll remind you that this Friday will be our last fire potential briefing of the season before we transition to our Monday, Wednesday, Friday prescribed fire briefings. Looking at the impact map, we do have showers today across the far north, scattered or isolated and fairly light, but it becomes more widespread and heavier given by the solid green expanding in area coverage first over Nevada and western Idaho, then moving eastwards, all part of a strong cold front defined by that dashed line. And we're also looking at the stronger winds, which would be maybe 20 to 30 miles an hour tomorrow in the southern areas, and maybe getting up towards 45 to 50 miles an hour in the south and east later in the period. And there'll be some briefly lower humidity. You have to watch some of those areas. There's been a lot of lightning there. Feels marginal at best, but when you get a sharp 1 or 2 day drying trend, sometimes you get a little brief surprise. Satellite imagery shows lots of clouds in western and northern areas, all part of this deep low pressure area starting to approach the Pacific Northwest coast. That'll produce a strong cold front and the wet weather for us later in the week into the weekend. We've had quite a bit of precipitation with another band of showers and thunderstorms, especially across parts of northwest Utah. You see a lot of lightning across the area, and some of that southern and eastern lightning will come under those stronger winds towards the end of the week. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Very light new fire activity, typical this time of year, a couple of quarter-acre or 1 acre starts and some drier pockets, but overall it's been quite wet across Idaho, much of Nevada, and in the south as well, a little drier in the east. ERCs have all been pushed down, 1,000-hour fuels, nothing critical, but still a widespread area, still some moderately dry areas in the low teens, but again, nothing that would be earth-shattering. The short-term flash drought index, or the EDI, does show what's been going on over the past month, a moistening in this bluish area across our entire region. Upper level map for later today, big high pressure ridge still holding on to our eastern areas with dry, warm conditions. But you see that front and its moisture starting to move in on the western periphery of the Great Basin. No significant fire potential, as very similar to our ERC point map. Our humidities, min humidities, are going to be 30 to 40% or higher in western areas, still down into the mid-teens to mid-20s in the south, a little breezy, and we see these green areas. Increasing winds in the northwest, but it's coming with higher humidity. Now for tomorrow, we see that trough on the left deepening off the Pacific Northwest coast, enhancing the moisture plume. A lot more of this green area. This is cloudy, overcast skies, steady precipitation. We do have this drier pocket with increasing winds. So we have a little yellow here on the map, and that's associated with some of these stronger winds, which could be gusting somewhere between 30 and 35 miles an hour across parts of western Utah, maybe far eastern Nevada. Humidities, again, teens to near 20% there. Now that low really starts deepening and starts closing off a little bit, so precipitation quite maybe even heavy at times through here. Also, snow levels will be lowering, maybe down to about 8,000 feet, could be dusting over the peaks. Otherwise, showers going on. But there's a tongue of dry, windy air ahead in Utah. So we have this area in yellow cordoned off here where not only do we have strong winds everywhere, but if we overlay that wind field with any humidities that are near or below 20%, we see our far southern and eastern areas fall into that combination. Temperature change between today and Saturday. You notice a sharp drop off in temperature, especially across Nevada and getting into Utah by the start of the weekend. So a sharp change for most areas, about maybe 8 to 14 degrees. And the 3-day precip totals, again, quite heavy in parts of central to northern Nevada and the mountains, maybe a ½ inch to 1.5 inches. And again, above 8,000 feet, probably several inches of wet snow. Same could be set up in the higher terrain of Idaho and probably the Wasatch before all is said and done. And then still some lingering moisture on Saturday across parts of northern and eastern Utah. That'll start to subside as we get dry air coming in, but cooler temperatures on the north winds. No fire potential as we go through the period. And as we look at the 7-day total precipitation areas, again, most of this in the first couple of days. The 8 to 14 day still hints at above normal temperatures, but a good moisture plume coming in across eastern areas during that time period. Concludes our briefing. Again, this coming Monday, we transition over to our prescribed fire briefings on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Have a great day.